Good morning. I think we should start and leave the recording for the others to watch and learn from. So welcome to the parents meet where we are going to be educating ourselves into the process of exhibition. So today we are meeting to understand the most awaited event of PYP 5, that is the exhibition. And children are already so excited with their mood meters showing an enthusiasm score of 8 to 9 on a scale of 10 that we ourselves can't contain the enthusiasm too. Prasanna ma'am and I will be taking you through and explaining the role of parents in the entire process. And we have with us Reena ma'am for the technical support. So let's first understand what is the PYP exhibition. Very commonly, it is referred to as a stepping stone or a milestone or a launch pad, a propeller, or a passport to go to MYP, which are all correct. But we proudly announce it as the celebration of PYP learning journey. The PYP exhibition is an event where students are given the opportunity to share their understanding of a real life issue or topic they've covered. It's a great way to help pupils reflect on their learning while developing skills for presentation and assessment. Let us see what are the few main purposes of the exhibition. First is the collaboration. It aims to help students to engage in a collaborative form of learning and inquiry. Next, there is agency. So the children show autonomy and agency with regards to their learning. Number 3 is that they exhibit, they demonstrate what they have learned and can enact the key qualities of the IB learner profile. By exploring topics and demonstrating their understanding at the exhibition, children can show how they embody all these qualities and take them into account as part of their learning and life experiences. Number 4 is that there is new learning. The exhibition gives students the chance to explore topics which are close to their heart from a range of different perspectives, listen to other learners, and understand their points of view. This can help them take in new knowledge they might be able to use in their learning in future. And last but not the least is the action. The exhibition also helps to unite PYP students as a part of the community, reflect on their PYP learning experiences on the whole, and acts as a step towards the next part of their educational journey as they move on to MYP. Now, these little ones are cocooned in their shells, but as they move through the exhibition, they metamorphosize into beautiful butterflies. This is a living testimony of all our parents whose wards have passed through this important journey. Let us now understand how the PYP exhibition works. For the exhibition, the students will select a real life issue and carry out an inquiry all by themselves, guided with the help of their mentors. They will ask questions that reflect on understanding of the concepts of the PYP. They will work in teams to collaboratively plan assessments and learning experiences. They will also demonstrate their understanding of the key elements of PYP. These include the learner profile, the key concepts, attitudes to learning, and how to take action. Let us have a quick glance at the last year's exhibition journey. Last year, the theme for the exhibition was Sharing the Planet. And we were completely online. We were a strength of 25 students and 6 mentors. Each student presented his or her work online beautifully. What we need to focus on is the 4 main components of their e-exhibition. That is the journal writing, the journey, the exhibition journey, the presentation, which happens on the final day, and the action component, which takes place, the seeds are sown and moves them forward. So we began in the month of December 2019. We worked as a whole group until February 2020. The students made their choices of topics and issues. Each student conducted individual inquiry right from framing the central idea to taking action. The mentors were always supporting them and were the acting guides to facilitate their inquiry. And parents were the biggest support for both the synchronous and the asynchronous learning. Next, please. Okay, so we had 6 groups, each with 1 mentor and 4 students. We successfully had thinking routines, activities, assignments, subject integrations, where English, math concepts were taken care of. We had guest lectures from various disciplines of life. We had virtual field trips, interviews, assessments, presentations, and direction components. And all this again was done online. And the parents here played a very important role in keeping the students on task. We really would like to thank them for this. So what we're going to see today is a sample of the work done in last year's exhibition, which I will be showing you soon. So just to give you a brief of what it was, one is a journal, which is very important, where the students document all their work day-wise. When you see the journal, you might feel what a humongous effort it is, but it is not as difficult as it looks. It is to be filled in, recorded, documented every single day. That's how the journal builds on and looks what you will be seeing. So the students maintain this document as an evidence of their e-exhibition work. And the reflections were also recorded. The parents, the mentors, and the PYP coordinator also give the feedback through the entire process. The journey is explained with evidences of images for each exhibition meet and mentor meet, explaining their learning and work done. It's not that they just make an entry of it. They have to keep an image or an evidence of what they have done during that particular mentor meet, or maybe a guest session, or maybe a practical survey, or maybe some kind of a learning engagement that they have got. Then comes the final presentation, when the students give their final day presentations in the form of a movie or a PowerPoint in the presence of the classmates, parents, and mentors. Now, movie and PowerPoint is something which is very basic for our children. They have already gone beyond just a movie and a PowerPoint, because they are more digitally well equipped. And last comes the action, where the students give an evidence of their action component. And amazingly, all happens online and very well. So this year's theme is where we are in place and time. And if you see on the right side, I have mentioned a few topics that we have covered in PYP. The entire PYP covers all these topics in where we are in place and time. A few of them are mentioned here. But now we will see what the children come up with. We will see what kind of issues are close to their heart, which fit into the theme of where we are in place and time. And then we will be taking the exhibition forward. So over to you, Prasunna ma'am, for the further explanation.
Thank you, Ashwini ma'am. Good morning, dear parents. And thank you for joining us today on a Saturday morning. Thank you very much. This was needed because we have to partner the work between the students and what we do in the school, between you and us for the students. So welcome to the session. This is a session of know-how of exhibition. We're going to have one more somewhere in the month of March, where little in detail the process would be explained. Reena ma'am, next session, next slide, please. Ashwini ma'am has spoken about what is exhibition, why do we do that, and who are going to do that. And she's going to speak where and when later, after I conclude my part of talking today. Next one. And this is how. I'm going to speak about how. When I was preparing the presentation, I was thinking that our students are also into inquiry month. The learner profile, what we are following is inquiry. And they are working through 4 W's and H all the day time, where, why, what, when, and then how. So I'm going to continue the how part of our inquiry learning process. So this exhibition is all about preparation, participation, and presentation. So I would see this into 3 parts: preparation, participation, presentation. Next slide, Reena ma'am. Under the preparation, we already had began, and we started in the month of November, where we had a session per week, and later on we made it 2 sessions per week. So we had began with tuning in. Already we spoke to them about the purpose of exhibition and the role, their role, the parents' role, the teachers' role, mentors and guides, and all the facilitators. We did that. We have moved on to finding out about the process of exhibition. The students are aware of all this, what we have done. So the sessions, which we had around 17 sessions till date, yesterday was a session, the last one we had, we made students understand about all these key elements of the program. That was about agency, the agentic learner they should be, they should do themselves, they should find out and work for themselves. Then about attributes of learner profile, what they need to display, and it's a important part of our program. The action, because learning is not complete unless they put their learning into practice. So that's how I take this action is very important. And the skills, whatever they have acquired, they need to display them through their work. They learned about the knowledge component. What is that they have to explore? What is the content they would be looking through? What are the concepts they have to work about? Then we also told them about the academic honesty and integrity they need to have imbibe in them. And we spoke to them about information literacy, which are the areas where they can find the information, how to go about inquiry, what are the sources, and acknowledging all the sources and people. That's what we spoke about. We also spoke about the media literacy because 2 things. One is it's going to be online. Second thing, the learning now, most of it is through media, all the resources which are e-resources now. So how to get them, how to evaluate them, how to put them into practice, and how to acknowledge which are the sites which we can look through, all those things. Ms. Reena had spoken to them in one of the sessions. We also had a session on writing journal and its importance, because journal is the process of keeping the records of their work. So that was already over. We also had seen a sample of journal of a child to understand, which we feel like could be a benchmark for our students. They could follow it in the way it has been done. And also we did the exhibition contract, the last session. It's a promise for all of us, which they are developing the agreements as a contract that it will be followed. So these were the sessions which were already completed. Now the next step is to identify their interests. As Ashwini ma'am has already shared the theme for this year, where we are in place and time, it has a scope for inquiry. So those pointers will be explored further, and students will be looking out for their own interests. And again, there's a learning process here. They'll list, they'll prioritize, they'll pick, and then they'll declare. So there's a lot of decision making and judgment, all of them involved. So this is how we are going to go about. We finished most of it, and the last part is the next week, and the coming week we'll be completing it. Now coming to the participation, I spoke to you about preparation. We held their hands and we have brought them till here. Now it's going to be the participation which the child is going to do on his own. So that's the process. It's not one day's job. It's going to be the process which is going to be assessed right from the day 1. And here the mentors are there who are going to guide, train, facilitate, and also enhance their work and correct and give them feedback. So the role of mentors would be in such a way that they're always there with them. Then under participation, I want to again break it down into the plan, the perform, and the ponder. Planning is through weekly meetings, journal writing, the discussions, the feedback from the mentors, the feedback from parents, all that is taken into consideration in the plan, their next step in their inquiry process. They perform. Under the perform, I would talk about the conducting research, then evaluate their research points, and they're going to conclude their learning. That's what is under perform. That's actual performance they'll do. And finally, they'll present, of course, that's later, but the process is more important than the final product. Then they ponder. After they have done all this, they're going to reflect upon their own learning through assessments, peer assessments, self-assessments, teachers' assessments, parents' assessments, and their own action during the process. And finally, they are ready to take an action, either to spread awareness or to implement certain things which is going to be beneficial for the society at large. So this is a process which will begin very soon now. Next slide, Reena ma'am. During the process, then what is that? Little details about it. They're going to work upon their central idea and lines of inquiry. They identify the concepts through which they need to move further in their inquiry process. Then the knowledge is automatically gained when they do all these processes, and they're going to develop, train, and enhance themselves with the skills which are needed. They're going to also learn to locate the resources appropriate, like my students always keep telling appropriate. Yes, they're going to look at appropriate resources and the sources through conducting surveys, interviews, participate in expert talks, apart from getting the work from Google search. Then they're going to communicate to their mentors, parents, friends, classmates. They share their work, they're going to evaluate their work. And finally, they're also going to look at various perspectives, multiple perspectives. That's also an important skill what children have to learn through. Lastly, but most important is that they're going to set goals, weekly goals, and they're going to check whether they're going to achieve these goals over the week. Then they redesign their plan for the next week. That's how it's going to happen. And they're also going to come up with their own success criteria. What is success? What is going to be success when I come? What is that I need to complete to achieve this part of the process? So that's what they're going to design by themselves. Entry in the journals is very mandatory, very important. That's other thing. Writing records is important. And the final, very, very important is collaborating with the teammates. Online, of course, however the process is going to be, but collaboration is very important because that helps them to learn teamwork. Next slide, Reena ma'am. Through the process, this is what they're going to learn. The skills are going to work out. They're going to learn to conduct research, note-taking, processing of information, which is very important thinking skill, cooperate and coordinate, to think critically, and framing questions. Framing of questions is an important skill that children are going to learn through now. Then comes the interactions with the subject experts to get on to more subject-specific skills, analyze, evaluate. Then various tools of presentation, as Ashwini ma'am already said, PPTs and Word files and movies are already aware. The higher level of skills are going to learn through the sources. Then they'll build confidence because they need to present many times their own work through the mentors and their friends. So that's one more thing which is going to be worked out. Creativity, nurture curiosity, and then language and other subject-specific skills. Definitely, they're going to accumulate data and facts, but they have to opinionate and verify. There's another skill which is going to be added upon to their work. Then they connect the local and the global comparisons, compare and contrast. All those other skills will be done, will be worked out. Then rest of them I spoke. So academic honesty, integrity, and time management and organizing their work. Those are the two very, very important skills that they're going to try, learn, and then achieve by the end of the process. The last P is present. So this is going to happen on the last day. They're going to present their learning in the form of presentations, whatever they choose, with the help of the mentors and parents. And they reflect on their learning. Reflection is also very, very important because we complete a process, but we have to assess ourselves and take the feedback from the assessments by the others. And finally, the action component that completes the learning for any student. And yes, that's the celebration of the learning. They would complete their learning through PYP-5 and the PYP program. So that's a celebration, is the last thing they're going to do. I already spoke about this. We have already finished till yesterday. That's 11th February. Now a week more, we'll be handing over the students to the mentors after that. Somewhere around 14th of March onwards, we're going to have individual inquiries with the mentors, children working only for the exhibition for about a month. The dates and the other things Ashwini ma'am is going to declare later after I complete. So the exhibition tasks have been set. Reena ma'am, next slide, please. So you'll find such kind of templates and tasks already put up in the class notebooks. Some of our students are completing them. I had given them the deadlines to complete. So I'm going to monitor this. So every session, what was the learning and what's the takeaway from the session? That's how they're going to fill up. It's available in the class notebooks of students. Also, there's a folder where all the information will be put up for the parents and for the students when they want to refer. They can go back and see other program related work. Next slide, Reena ma'am. Thank you very much, parents. That's what we had done now and what's going to be happening later. But as our children always conclude their listening with feedback to us, I would like to ask you if you are comfortable filling up this. What does the exhibition look? How does it look like for you? How do you feel about it and how it sounds to you? So we request you to put a word in the chat box for all of us to know a reflection about exhibition. It looks like, sounds like, and feels like. That completes my action component also. I have spoken, so I want to just check from you.
So after listening to Prasunna ma'am, now it is time for you to reflect on how you feel the exhibition would be. Children have already done this exercise, and we would like the parents also to now think about what it feels like, sounds like, and looks like for you. Yes. So to continue with, parents do keep a mental note of the exercise, the takeaway which Prasunna ma'am has left you with. And I would like to take this forward now. So students are encouraged to use a range of different strategies and disciplines as a part of their inquiry in keeping with the transdisciplinary approach of the program. You have already heard what Prasunna ma'am has said about the long process that we are into. We have already covered probably 20% of that, and now the remaining is going to start Monday onwards. So exhibition functions as a way for students to celebrate all the learning and academic development as part of the program. With the involvement of parents, so the exhibition is a mandate for all the PYP5 students, just as personal project is a directive in MYP5 and extended essay is essential in DP2. But before I move on to the beauty of exhibition, I would like to just explain to you the role of the mentor and the parents. The mentor is not the teacher. The teacher is a mentor is a different person. So the mentors are going to be guides, they're going to be facilitators, they're going to be collaborators, and they're going to be assessors of the entire process of the exhibition. We believe that the process is much more important than the product itself. So we would be focusing definitely on the way the children have been maintaining the documentation, maintaining their time, maintaining their attitude, their academic integrity, their agency. Everything would be recorded by the mentors from day one. So it is not only the last day which is important, it is the entire journey which is important for a good assessment. Now comes the role of the parents. So parents, you must have, I'm sure you must have taught your children to ride bicycles, or you must have taught your children to float on water, in water. Yes. So the role of the parents and mentors is quite the same, but still there is a little bit of a difference because now we are doing the exhibition online. Although we have physically started the school, but the children will be with you when they are working on the exhibition back at home. So when we are teaching our child to ride a cycle or float in water, we do handhold them, and we do make sure that they are keeping the balance. Somewhere the child does not realize that we have let go. This is our role. We are just going to let go, support, supervise, collaborate, guide, help them balance, and let go. And they will be on their own. So this is basically our major role that we will be undertaking. And the beauty of the exhibition is that the students learn to collaborate, cooperate, and coordinate in ways that we have never seen them do. They take the ownership of the learning and they meet the already set success criteria. The students are equipped with the skills by the end of the exhibition that will help them continue their smooth sailing in MYP years 2. Now, to help support this exhibition and the learning of the students, we will be having 5 mentors who will be guiding the students through this journey. It will be Ms. Prasunna, Ms. Snehal, Ms. Dimple, Ms. Sangeeta, and Ms. Neha, who would be helping and will be actively involved in the entire process. So we will be having the exhibition on the 18th and the 19th of April. So request you to all mark your calendars for the same. One last thing before I would take you into showing you the samples of the last year's exhibition work would be that you as parents have a really very, very important part to play in this whole journey. Support your ward through the inquiry and the exhibition process. Most important of all is to keep a check on the daily tasks given and the regular updating of the logs, as Prasanna ma'am has already shown you, the document where the daily logs have to be filled in. You can help them to access resources and material that they might need it as a part of the inquiries, as well as providing knowledge and experience where they can. If you have friends, associates, relatives who could help make this entire journey more rich with the experience that they may be having, which is related, relevant to the learning of the child, you must encourage your people around you to come and speak and add on value to the learning of the children. You must also give feedback on the exhibition and help students celebrate their learning and the completion of the program by attending the final presentation. Again, the dates are 18th and the 19th of April. So through the PYP, the children can gain plenty of transferable skills and qualities to help them develop into enthusiastic, inquisitive, and caring learners with a passion of knowledge. The PYP exhibition is the final part of the program where all this knowledge and development can be documented, demonstrated, and assessed. So now it gives me great pleasure to take you through the work of Shivam Gandhi, who is now in MYP1. So kindly treat his work as a sample of what is expected from each PYP5 student. So Shivam Gandhi's journal I would be showing you the final presentation PDF. The entire PPT which he had made, we've converted into a PDF, so it goes faster for you all, because his final presentation is nearly 14 to 15 minutes long. Then I'm going to show you a quick video of his journey and the action component. And this opportunity, I would definitely like to take to give a big shout out to his parents for their unstinted support. This is how it goes. We will be sending you the master copy for you to understand the headings of the journal. This is little Shivam. This is the academic honesty declaration, which all the children have seen and have agreed to follow. This is the exhibition contract, which the PYP5 current batch has already designed yesterday with their homeroom teacher. This has been compiled together by the last year's batch. This is the timeline. The document which Prasanna ma'am has shown you has to be documented in this way. This is the timeline date-wise. They have to mention the name of the session and what they did in the session. And basically it is not only mentioning what they did, but it is more important to show what they learned. This is done by each child. We had the Keep Educating Yourself session, which we are having right now on the 16th of Jan. We are meeting a month later. So you see, till the 16th of March, all the children were working together, and then they were split into their groups and they were further guided by the mentors. This was the theme. This was the big idea that Shivam inquired about, marine pollution. He gave a title to his topic, and the title is an acronym. It's Want Action in View of Ebbing Shores. This was a central idea which he framed, the lines of inquiry again, which were framed by him. These were the key questions and the wonderings which took him further in his inquiry. This was tracking the inquiry process. Now, how the timeline has gone by after his mentors started working with him. These were all the mentor meets that he had. This was the entire process that we are talking about, the process which is documented. This is the inquiry cycle which he followed. These were the sources and the resources that he collected, he referred to. Now, this is something that I would like you to draw your attention. This is the week-wise planning that happens. What they have planned for the week, what they would want to achieve in this week, what are the guiding questions, what was the process of learning, what was the learning. Then the mentors gave the feedback for every week that they work. What is the next step that they want to take in the next week? What was the aha moment and the ono moment? So there were these week-wise entries that were made. This was the presentation of the learning. So he decided how his presentation is going to be. What are the tools he's going to use? This was the summary of his learning and the reflection of his learning. This was the reflection of the entire learning process. Which ATL approaches to learning did he display? Which skills did he display? What about the IB learner profiles, where he showed that he was an inquirer, a communicator, a thinker throughout this entire process of the journey of exhibition? His specific subject learning, as I said, there is no negligence in math or science or English concepts. So where did he use his subjects? What is the connection made to the other transdisciplinary themes? What were the strengths, challenges, opportunities, and threats that he had during the exhibition journey? What was his proposed action? His action was to make a petition and do more clean beach drives. So this student went physically to the beach in Dubai, and he did a clean beach drive with the help of his parents. This is a reflection of his action. This is his promise. And this is his success story. This was the assessment that was conducted by the mentor, the reflection of the parent, the mentor, and the coordinator. And then there were creative expressions by the mentors. Now, I would like to show you the action component. This was the pledge which Shivam made by himself. This was his clean beach drive.
Hello, my name is Shivam. I studied Vishwashanti Gurukul PYP 5. I'm at Kite Beach and today I'm going to pick up some trash. So let's see how much I can pick up. I am not using gloves and instead I'm using biodegradable bags, and for putting all the trash I have got these biodegradable bags. I've collected this one in a very short time, and if we keep on collecting more and more, and then if I walk more I will be able to collect more, and we should keep all beaches clean. So I encourage you also to do the same and keep clean beaches.
So this was his action component, and last I would like to show you his short video of the entire journey. was Shivam. And this is the last part, which I would like to quickly take you through. This is his final PPT, which we have converted into a PDF so that I can take you through it. He explained each and every slide which he had made during the final presentation. This, if you see here, these are the skills which he developed during the entire journey. And here, this little girl and his classmate and he together collaborated to create a reader's theater. Shivam conceptualized the idea of the entire story, and and Prisha helped him by lending her voice for the reader's theater. This is the collaboration that we were talking about. He had an interaction with a marine engineer, and the gentleman came as a guest speaker for Shivam, and he told him about the concept of Marpol, which Shivam learned. This was something new, which talks about marine pollution. And here he decided, this was the time where he decided he's going to become a sea shepherd. And he presented his understanding through a role play of a sea shepherd. This was a proposed action. While he was doing the entire process, there was a time when his action was asked him what he would like to do to serve the cause. So he decided that he is going to go to the beach and do the cleaning. And as a lifestyle choice, he decided that he's going to dispose his trash very properly. So there was a lifestyle choice in his action. There was a participation when he did the clean beach drive. And there was a petition which he floated, which spoke about the advocacy of what exactly his cause is. He was trying to promote the awareness of the marine pollution through his petition. And he got a whooping response to it. Here, if you go to this link, you will still find his petition floating. And I'm sure there must have been more additions made. This was all his creativity. This was all the appreciation he earned. A reflection on what he wants to improve in through the entire, because there is always scope to do something better, something more. The pledge we have already seen. This was his presentation. So parents, now we would like to keep the session open for question answers. Yes, so this was the reflection of the parent. Now this Shivam's work happened last year, but then sometime in November 2022, I got a surprise email from the parent stating this. So Shivam continued his learning. When he visited another exhibition where he's staying now, he came across the same cause that he was working for. And his mother was really sweet to send me an image of his learning continued.
Ashwini ma'am, I would like to add a point here. To parents, this all will happen. This batch also it's going to happen. Children will do much more. So we are very, very confident. Already there is a lot of work has been done, and they'll be doing much more.
It does look overwhelming, but then as they step day by day, they are growing and they are maturing. And like I said, at the end of the exhibition, you will find a beautiful butterfly sitting in your home.
The way they are doing the presentations, the way they are learning and presenting, it's really, really good. So it's going to happen. Same thing when we meet during our exhibition presentations and graduation celebrations. it's the children work that we are going to talk about the next year. So I'm very, very sure each and every child of the class, you're going to do the best children.
So, ma'am, Mrs. Bansal here. Can you hear me well?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. No, I think it's a wonderful concept, and it is equal hard work from the parents and equal hard work from the teachers, and of course, students have to, really put in 200%. But what I see is there'll be a lot of learning after this, because they'll really be able to, go deep dive into their subject and, come out with a wonderful output. So as you rightly said, it is a journey which we should look at rather than the product itself. And I think it's a very, very apt thing to do, because during this journey also they're going to learn so much, which which is really, really important in today's life. So I really appreciate so much of the exhibition itself, and I think it is going to be a great one. Ms. Prasanna ma'am is absolutely right. They are they're full of potential, and we just need to harness that potential. I think it looks to me very, very exciting. It's going to be sounds like very knowledgeable, and I think it's going to be feel like a good reflection of whatever they have learned. And moreover, what I understand from Kavish is that this is like you can choose a topic of your interest. There are no topics being prescribed, so you have the whole world open actually of what they want to do and leverage their creativity. So all the best. I would wish the teachers all the best, because it's not easy. And same to the teachers, and for the parents who are on this call, and the children who will really do the best. So very, very inspiring work of Shivam. I know these students are will also do much more better, and wish them all the best. So thank you, ma'am. Thanks for this opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I think we will give you time to absorb the whole presentation. And if you have any more questions about it, any doubts, any concerns, please feel free to write to us. We would be happy to answer your questions. But it's just a message from all of us to you, is that we are in partnership. Not only we adults, but we are in partnership with our children. And we have to make sure that whatever learning happens is going to be a learning for life. It's not just going to be something that they're going to finish off within a month's time and then it's done. No, whatever they learn, whatever whatever skills they are building, whatever conceptual understanding they are taking in, is something that is going to take them forward in life. And like we have spoken to the children, the exhibition is the start of something beautiful. It is not the end. Probably it is the last thing that they do in PYP-5, but it is the beginning of a much bigger world. So we wish them all the best, and parents too, all the best. Let's work hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder, head to head, and bring our children to the best potential. Thank you so much, all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks to Sunna ma'am.
Thank you, parents. Thank you.